Look at some of the, let's interact a bit with our touch screen and see exactly how these two states have, the stories that we're seeing from there, and of course some of the statistics coming out of the two states. Let's see exactly what we're talking about. The first state is Osun State. Of course, we've seen that already. This is the APC, President Muhammadu Buhari, scoring 347 and then 634 to the main challenger, Atiku Abubakar, 337. And then, of course, 337, 377. Let's look at how the incumbent performed in 2015 and see some of the, this was his performance in 2016, 383,000 to the incumbent, then 247. Let's go back to this year. Of course, you can see there's a decline in the voting pattern, and that's we were just talking about the fact that perhaps that could be as a result of some of the experiences in the last election, the gubernatorial election, in that state. Let's look at Ekiti State. The state is not a very big state. Once you enter from Ikere and you come out of Oye, it's not so far. So, of course, tabulation won't be too difficult. So, yes, you have the incumbent scoring 219,000 votes to 219,231 to the main challenger, Abubakar Atiku, 154,32. Let's quickly look at the performance in 2015, 120,000 to 176,000. It seems to me as if not so much I won both times in those two states. So we're seeing that it's still going according to trend in those two states so far. Let's look at that again. But of course, we've showed that. Let's see if we can still see one or two other. The reports are not coming at the moment, but I think we have been able to make the point. What is important is that we've seen the same, patterns, but what has not been impressive is the voter turnout. In spite of the voter education, in spite of the, or what INEC has done, and the number of registered voters, you are still seeing a very low turnout in terms of even the number of registered voters. We're talking about 84 million, 84 million voters, and then we're still seeing this compared to the, the last years. What are your comments?
So when you talk about voter turnout, in 2015, by the statistics you have now,
yes, we had better performance.
Yes, it's better.
Yet we have more registered voters this year.
Of course, there was 72 million total number.
Yes, and 84 million, then 72 collected their PVCs. Yes.
PVC. So it's important to note too that there's also the shift. Apart from Ekiti, Ekiti specifically is also unique because in 2004 there was a gubernatorial election there that. As people argue that the military was used to oppress the voters, and eventually that led to Governor Fayache emerging as governor and all of the accusations that followed. So when the election was to run in 2018, the Ekiti election in 2018, it was like a playback. So APC wanted to take the state back. So this result is justifying that narrative. That, come on, we need to hold Ekiti. We need to hold it strong. So it's also possible that voters, by way of permutation, will say, come on, I'm not going to vote, because from the gubernatorial election in Ekiti, there was some apprehension of whether the military were actually preventing people from accessing some polling point or something. So people, that may have informed that level of the drop in quote, but that did not affect Osun State. I think Osun State has done well in terms of the turnout. It's impressive.
Let's go back and look at the issue of registered voters. Again, perhaps let me see if we can get to Osun. This is, are we up to Osun? Yes, this is Osun.
Yes.
Osun had registration of about 1,680,000. Collected PVCs that were collected 1,266,587, and then you are talking about just 700 people coming out. That, I mean, the numbers show you that there was a bit of apathy in that state. But let's quickly go back and see.
When you use apathy, for total number of ballot, PVC collected, 1.2.
Which, so you still think it's a good performance?
It's more than 50%.
Very good. So if you come to Ekiti then, how would you, what would be your perhaps estimates in terms of analysis of their performances? We have about number of registers for that now, 666. And then eventually the collection of PVC was not very high.
Yes.
So that means Ekiti performed very well, at least in terms of the size.
Yes.
In terms of the size. In terms of the size. So, like they say, statistics don't lie. You only. I think we can give some form of. Let's give some kudos to INEC for that one, especially in Ekiti State. Ekiti State, a lot of people say, is the fountain of knowledge. So perhaps in terms of voter education, they are more sophisticated. I think. So that's about those two states. We're still expecting